Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about cloud migrations. So, what are migrations? How they run, and what are the initial steps, especially to be taken? Because nowadays cloud migrations, tend to happen quite often. So, in business there is a big need for different types of migrations. And what are they? So, for example, first of all, it can be migration from on-premise environment to cloud, or it can be migration between different clouds, or it can be migration within the same cloud, but for example, from one region to another, or from just one virtual network to another. So there can be many different options. Of course, each of them has own specifics, and uh, each of this option is quite unique, but there's a general part, and general part is that migration is a very complex thing to do. Usually it more or less touches all the parts of the infrastructure. Even if you don't aim to migrate all infrastructure in your company, still migration can influence pretty much everything. So, and even more complex if you want to migrate everything from one place to another. So that's why, from my experience, I often have seen that migration projects, they start to face issues at the same beginning. And I would like to briefly outline what are the first steps to take when you start thinking about migration. And the first most important part to start with is the preparation of the organization itself. Because without a well prepared organization, the migration project would likely to fail, to stop somewhere in between, and usually on the early stage. What does it mean preparation? So, on each department, there should be a good understanding of why the migration happens and of the importance of this. And each department involved in the migration should not, push back. So because always all the departments have own tasks. It's a normal process, but the migration would influence them, or it would depend on them, and it's very important that they are not pushing back on the migration topics. And even more important is that the management of a company also understands the need and the complexity of migration, and also supports the whole process. Yeah, and understanding of a company management, of a company leadership, is even more important here. But in general, both the company managers um, and the like departments and simple engineers, like the understanding of the need of migration should be on each level. Uh, so this is the first part, and the second part is that when you start migration, you would likely to start with uh, inventarization of all environments that you have, because it's quite crucial to understand what are the servers, DBs, or storages that need to be migrated, what data is inside, what workloads are running, who is responsible for them. And when looking into experience of many organizations that go through migration, uh, I've seen that almost always companies do not know the workloads that they are running. They know only some of them, but not all of them. And that's why the inventarization topic is taking much time. From the other side, there is obviously a need to plan everything, right? To make a good plan for the migration, and also to well understand how the landscape of the new environment will look like, because you would need to build this landscape before you start migrating. And again, to understand how to build it, you need to understand what will be there, and not necessarily what will be migrated into this environment, but also how it will communicate to your other environment. For example, if it's a hybrid infrastructure, how your new cloud would communicate to your on-prem, what will go to new cloud, what will remain in on-prem. And if it's the infrastructure, for example, between different clouds or between different regions, it's still the same question. Yes, what will remain in old region, what will go to a new region, how the communication will be done. So, and to achieve this, you still need a very good inventory. So this is a one core part there. And how to build it, yeah. So that's pretty much a manual process that you cannot avoid. So that's a lot of manual things to do, and this is a lot of about communication, because you will have to talk to other departments, to other engineers, to other managers who might be responsible for it. And uh, you should be ready to situations when you find some server or some database and no one knows who is responsible for it. So you would probably need to ask multiple people on that. So, and in general, when like when doing inventory, you can use some automated tools. So there is some automated tooling to do it. But this tooling won't solve all the problems. It will help, but not solve. So because what this automated tool do, they usually get they usually go into network and look up for all the servers that are running there and get as much information as possible about those servers. But it's but you need more. Yeah, you need to find responsible people, and this is what automation tool cannot do. And you need to understand how critical those servers are, how what is their place in the environment, what are the intercommunications, and so on. So this is another important task. So to recap, when you start migration, and it can look scary, you can feel yourself that you are standing in front of dark forest, and you don't know what is inside and how long it will take to go through it. But don't be scared too much. So just start doing tasks towards your final goal, and to outline those tasks, start with organization. Start preparing the organization. Start preparing people. Start talking to them, explaining them that migration will run, why, and that it's complex task, so they understand it. And the second part, start building the environment. So these are two initial steps. That's it for today, and thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.